Edward Gedall, psychologist, psychotherapist, looking at who is Meghan Markle. It's Monday evening here in Lausanne, Switzerland. For those of you that might want to know, why is it 8:15 tonight? Well, it's because I totally screwed up with the system and got it all wrong. And so I've had to stop everything and start again. And it's in 50-minute chunks, the a restream system. So that's the way it is. So here we are. It's another Monday. And tonight we're going to look at the last part of the case study that I've been talking about, which is something I'm very proud of the work that we've done with that. And just to give you a sort of a bit of personal feedback, just for something, let you know what I've been doing, because just to get started, is that the other week I bought myself some new skiing equipment, because the rest of my others was 20 years old, so it started to fall to pieces. And so I took myself skiing this weekend, and it was a total disaster. I'm totally out of condition. New skis horribly difficult to learn to use. So I went for 2 afternoons, and it was pretty rough, but that's the way it is. Anyway, so let's get on to what we're here for tonight. The last part of Who is Meghan Markle, case study, part 3. Who is Meghan Markle? Hi, this is Gary Edward Gedall, psychologist, psychotherapist, looking at Who is Meghan Markle. Tonight, we're going to continue with the second chapter, which indirectly focuses on Meghan's relationships with her parents. And for those of you who've watched the last 2 segments, you'll be aware that I've chosen to begin this reflection by sharing with you a real case study of one of my patients. As I've mentioned before, many personal and secondary details have been changed to protect her identity, but I do promise that the basis and many of the important and psychological historical details are entirely true. And for those of you who have missed the last 2 weeks or forgotten, I've put together a recap of the first 2 segments.
I cannot sleep unless I am breathing in the smell, the odor of my teddy bear. Sometimes I turn over and I can't sleep. I wake up and I need to smell her again. I've tried sleeping pills, hypnosis, acupuncture, many things. Because I cannot sleep without him, I cannot have a relationship. Even with my boyfriend, with his smell, it isn't enough. When I was very young, I used to take the teddy bear to bed. I didn't spend much time with my mother. I spent more time with my father. My mother wasn't really very available. She worked mornings, weekends. She would pick me up, let me watch television, then go to bed because she was tired. After a while, my parents split up. I had to go and live with my father. My father was very strict, very tough on me about my homework. Every weekend he took me riding, but he would just stand and watch, smoking his pipe. When my mother came, we would buy toys, have ice creams, do things Dad didn't like. Once she took me to Disney World. But the police came, in Disney. It seems that she hadn't told Dad that she was taking me, so he phoned the police. When Mom was here, it was so fun. And then she would leave, and I would be stuck with Dad, who was really boring and no fun. Then Dad's mom died, and we moved back to the village where we lived, but I never went to stay with Mom. And then went to university because I had good grades. I worked hard and I got good grades, so it was my work. That's what Mom said.
My reading of your story is that your mother abandoned you and your father looked after you in an incredibly caring and appropriate way.
No way.
I believe that your teddy bear smells like your mother.
When I was a baby, I was in bed with her and the teddy bear.
And it seems to me that you cannot move forward because of your emotional investment in your mother, which has not evolved.
If I confront my mother now, who I now have a good relationship with, it might not work. She might be angry with me. She might reject me. And I couldn't cope with that.
Talk to your mother.
And for months I kept hitting the same nail with the same hammer. She was abandoned by her mother, who didn't look after her when she was a child. She'd come in and go to work. She was never there in the mornings, although nobody works 7 days a week. She was never there in the evenings because she was too tired. She had no holidays that my patient could remember. So there's something drastically wrong there. But yes, there were times when she would come and visit, never take her home, would come and visit, and it would be wonderful. And I thought, well, there's something there. It's not for me to diagnose the mother at a distance, although I could. That's not my job. My job is to get my patient to talk to her mother, to confront her. And one week she said,
Listen, Mr. Gedall, if I confront my mother now, who I now have a good relationship with, it might not work. She might be angry with me. She might reject me. And I couldn't cope with that.
and I said, look, I've done everything I can. The only thing I can think of is you talk to your mother about this. Talk to your mother about what I have said and ask her what she thinks about that.
Maybe you could also talk to your father.
No way am I talking to that man ever again. No way. That's why I'm close to my mother now, because I don't talk to him.
But fine, talk to her. So eventually she took her, as they say, her courage in both hands, and she went to talk to her mother. And she came back next week, because I made sure that I would see her the week after. I said, how did it go? And she said,
Mr. Gedall, I'm cured.
good. I said, what do you mean?
You were right. I went and I told her what you said, that she wasn't there for me, and Dad was there for me, and that he loved me, and she wasn't there.
And what happened?
She said she was sorry, and she cried. And she took me in her arms, and she cried, and I cried. We just sat like that for ages, just crying and crying and crying. And I said, well, what happened? And she said, I have bipolar disorder. And I never got it treated, because I didn't know there was anything wrong. And your father insisted that I got treatment, or he would leave. And I said, no, there's nothing wrong. So that's why he took you away. He took you away to protect you from me, because I was not well. I was sick. And the reasons why I didn't come to see you, and the reasons why after work I would just go to bed, was because I was depressed. I was depressed all the time. I was always depressed. It could have been postpartum depression, but I think it was the bipolar. And work was the only thing that kept me sane, the only thing that kept me going. Your father supported me going to work, not for the money, but just because I held it together thanks to the work. And I didn't come to see you because I didn't have the energy. I was too depressed, unless I was in a manic phase. And when I was manic, everything was great. I had energy. We had fun. I wanted to buy you things, and take you places, and take you to Disney World. I took you to Disney World because I had the energy, because I was in a manic phase, and then I'd come down. And the reason I never allowed you to come to the house was because the house was always a total mess. It was awful. I never had the energy to clean and tidy as I should. I kept myself clean for work, but that was about what I could manage. And it took me years before I finally got a diagnosis and got medication. But I missed out on all your childhood. And you're fortunate to have had your father, who looked after you in the best possible way that he could. Please go and see him, because he loves you dearly." And then we cried again. And then I phoned Dad. And I said, "Dad, can I see you?" And he said, "Of course." And then I hugged him and said, "I love you." He cried as well. I never seen him emotional, never seen him express any emotion. And then I came home, and I was so upset. I was just so exhausted. I just went to bed, and I went to sleep. And in the morning I woke up and I thought, something strange has happened. And then I realized I hadn't taken Teddy. Teddy was still on the side of the bed. I didn't need him anymore. Thank you, Mr. Gedall.
And that was it. My magic therapy. My magic intervention. Where someone went from having a very strong symptom to no symptom at all. In one day. Perfect cure. Finished. But her total, complete belief in the interpretation given by her mother, who would be available from time to time with wonderful experiences, and her daily boring life with her father, who was quiet, not very expressive, not very emotional, but very stable and very generous in reality. She never saw that, because she needed, and I repeat, she needed to see her mother as the good one, because she could not cope emotionally with the reality that she was abandoned by her mother. And I truly believe that both Harry and Meghan have experienced these sorts of relationships with their mothers, both of them, obviously for very different reasons. But Doria left Meghan when Meghan was 2 years old. She left her because she wanted to do other things. She did not want to be a mother and a housewife. She wanted to do things. Everyone has the right to that. But I believe that although obviously she saw Meghan from time to time, I don't think she saw her all that much. And when she went to London, then obviously she didn't see her for long periods at all. And I believe that Meghan, just like my patient, recreated a story where her mother was fun and exciting and wonderful, and the father was boring and not very interesting. And likewise with Harry. Harry, because of his status, because of the educational system, he went to nursery and then to school and then to boarding school. So by definition, he wouldn't see his mother that much. By definition, when she'd come to see him, she would more than likely do wonderful and exciting things, running races, going to Germany, going to Canada, really exciting and powerful things. And Charles has a wonderful sense of humor. He's a great guy, but I don't know if he's very exciting. I don't know if he's very interesting. I think he was a very responsible and fair and supportive and generous father. But how could he compare with the flashing lights, the shooting star of Diana, his mother? Nobody can compete with that. Just like I don't think many people could compete with Doria when she was being available, I would guess, and certainly the mother of my patient. So there we go. Interesting story. I hope you found that as interesting as I found the case interesting. Yes, I'm the hero therapist. That's my job, is to tell you things that work. But I'm telling you this more because for me, the similarities between all three stories are very, very striking. So I'll see you next Monday for a more detailed look of the reality, as I see it, of Meghan's relationship with her parents. So that's next Monday. Like, subscribe, share, do all good things, and I'll see you next time. Take it easy. Bye for now. All the best. Gary.